But even in Arizona, Kari Lake, who we both think is a future star of the GOP, she put out this ad because Katie Hobbs is basically saying, I will not share a debate stage with Kari Lake. Kari is hitting back on this one.
For the first time in the history of our state, there will be no clean elections gubernatorial debate. Bucking state tradition, my opponent, Katie Hobbs, has made it official. She will not share a debate stage with me under any circumstance. Now I'd like to speak directly to you, Katie. You think this issue is going to go away? That Arizonans will just throw up their hands and say, oh, well, no debate this year? Well, you're sorely mistaken. I have asked the Clean Elections Commission to extend the deadline for you to confirm your attendance to the day of the debate. Should you grow a spine between now and October 12th, there will be an empty chair waiting for you on the debate stage.
This is what needs to happen. Remember how we said Republicans need to go on offense, need to point out what their opponents, they have to force them into the public eye, because the game plan for Hobbs, for Fetterman, for, go down
Mark
the list
Kelly,
of
all of them.
For all of them is, I'm not like one of those crazy left-wing gender transition for 12-year-olds Democrats who's spending all the money and making your grocery prices and your gas prices go way up. I'm like a nice, moderate, normal Democrat. I'm not one of those. It's all a lie. And the game is to have the regime media at the national level, and then at the state level, unfortunately, all the major state newspapers in all these places, you're talking, whether it's Pittsburgh, Atlanta, anywhere in Arizona, obviously Arizona, Atlanta, I'm thinking about Georgia, but the biggest newspapers in all these states are essentially carrying water for the Democrat candidates. Between that, CNN, the New York Times, they think that that's how they win the election. Just have these candidates that no one really gets to ask any questions to.
Using the logic of the divorcee Stan Seder, Kari Lake should be the governor of Arizona now, because Hobbs won't debate. Butterman, old Butterball up there in Pennsylvania, isn't going to debate either. Of course, I don't think Uncle Fester can even put a sentence together at this point. So if I was him, I wouldn't debate either. But using Stan's logic, Kari Lake wins, and Stan would endorse Kari Lake, because if Hobbs doesn't come running when Kari Lake challenges her to a debate, Kari Lake wins. That's kind of the logic Stan uses. Of course, he hasn't been relevant for well over a decade. You're like almost 60 now, Stan. You haven't been relevant since you're like in your early 40s when Air America went down. Last time you had a real job. Now you're reduced to a sideshow clown for 3 or 4 minutes on MSNBC every day, and then you get on Twitter and get on YouTube and upload videos all day. Of course, if you spent more time being a husband instead of trying to be a quasi-celebutard on Twitter, maybe you'd still be married, although I think that would have just bought you a couple years. Imagine if I went so crazy I threw my marriage away when Obama won or when Biden won. Imagine being that mentally off. But anyway, Stan, speaking of debates, if you want to put that little religion degree you got from a diploma mill up in Connecticut because you didn't get anything, you didn't finish any school out in California when you're out there pretending to be a comedian and an actress, which you failed at those two. If you want to put that little religion degree to use, you could debate James Patrick Holding on the impossible faith. Now, he has done verbal debates, but what would happen after that is you would do what you usually do and try to find some gotcha points and just autistically repeat them for the next year and declare victory. But what he would probably do is write nearly a book response to you, undercutting all your talking points, and then you'd do a 5-minute video on it, and then he'd write nearly another book refuting you, and then you'd probably just shove it under the rug. But I'm counting on your ego to get the better of you. And you can put that little religion degree to work for once, and you can debate James Patrick Holding on the impossible faith, and then what little dignity you do have can completely be buried. So use that hashtag Sam Seder won't debate JPH. So there, if you want to debate Stan, there you can do that. We'll see how you do, and good luck. You'll need it. Oh, Stan, one other thing I need to say to you, all that prolonged sitting you're doing is not healthy. You need to get out of the chair and get off Twitter every once in a while. Get off of YouTube and whatever else you do to try to be a social media celebutard because prolonged sitting is not good for human beings, and that's going to adversely affect your health. So get out of the chair and do something.